Hi, in this video I'm going to be demonstrating how to set up some firewall rules, which is a really handy tool for fine-tuning your rXg and your network to only allow communication on specific applications and ports between different VLANs. If we look at my local network, I've kind of mimicked a very basic retail environment. We have some back of house servers, point of sale machines, and some security cameras. And we're going to be tuning the firewall between servers and the point of sale machines in this example. So we've set up our VLANs 200 and 400, and we've given them addresses. Now, the first thing we want to do is create WAN targets that will be the IP addresses of these VLANs. So we go to identities, definitions. I've already set these up. So if we search for our back of house servers, we'll see that I've created WAN targets with the IP address inside a form of 10.10.24.0. You want to make sure it's the .0 base address and you have the whole subnet selected. So if this was a /23 or whatever, you would also obviously change this to /23. But I set up /24 for our servers, so I've created that. And then the same deal for our point of sale machines. And then once we've set up our WAN targets for that, we'll want to make sure that we have IP groups for each of these VLANs. And on top of that, we'll want to make sure that we have policies for each. So we have our back of house service policy and our point of sale machines policy. And now, once we've got those two things set up, we can actually create firewall rules. So we're going to go to policies and packet filters. Our first step is going to be to create a block all filter from the point of sale machines to the back of house servers. So we're going to create a new application filter. And we're going to name this block all point of sale machines to back of house servers. Make sure our action is set to block. The direction will be outbound. And then for the WAN targets, we're going to want to select that back of house servers WAN target that we set up. And then the policy will be what this is actually being applied to. So we'll make sure to select our point of sale machines. So we've created this blanket block all filter. Now what we need to do is create exceptions to this filter with additional pass filters, which are going to be below in the hierarchy. So our first step really is to create an application filter for the ports that we want communication to be allowed on. So we're going to name this point of sale machines ports. For this example, we'll do 12,000 and 400. Obviously, in a real world situation, you would need to find out the exact ports that you need communication on and obviously set these filters up exactly. This is purely just for the demonstration on this video. So we hit create on our applications. And now we need to create that pass rule. So we're going to do create new on the application filters. We're going to do point of sale machine ports. We want to change our action to allow or pass instead. Direction will stay as outbound. And again, the WAN target will be back of house servers. For applications, we're going to want to select that application that we just set up. So make sure we select that point of sale machine ports. And then policies, again, we're going to apply it to our point of sale machines. So we've now set up firewall rules. And what we can do now is test this using a couple of virtual machines on the VLANs in question. One of which is a Windows machine running Wireshark. This is on VLAN 200, so it's acting as my back of house server. The other one is a Linux machine running on VLAN 400, acting as a point of sale machine. And the first thing we can do to test is I didn't create a rule to allow ping. So if I try and ping this Windows machine from the Linux machine, I'm just going to get nothing back. None of the pings are going to go through. But if you remember, I did set up that rule to allow port 12,000. So I can test that by doing telnet to the Windows machine on port 12,000. And I have Wireshark running to look out for anything on port 12,000. Once I have this run, I get the message back immediately that it's refused, which is a good sign. You can see on Wireshark that this did actually come through. And in a further test, I can just change this telnet command to do port, let's say 120. And it's just going to keep trying because it's not able to reach the Windows machine on that IP address.
If you have requests for other topics or features that you'd like more information about, post them in the comments or on our community support subreddit. Follow along with this channel for more updates, technical demonstrations, and news about all things RGNets and rXg, and we'll see you next week.